أخرجني مخرج صدق واجعلني من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا. الحمد لله رب العالمين، ثم الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا بالقاسم محمد وآل محمد وآل الطيبين الطاهرين سيما بقية الله وأرواحنا فداء. So actually today, maybe because we have two short, hikmah, two short sayings of Amir al-Mu'mineen, so it's better if we are talking about both of them, because maybe it doesn't take a lot of time. So we are saying number 14, and after that, inshallah, maybe we'll talk about saying number 15. Saying number 14 says, Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam قال من ضيعه الأقرب أتيح له الأبعد. So, and as you can see the translation that brother Shafiq said it, or maybe in another way we can say, he who is deserted by friends and relatives will often find help and sympathy from strangers. So I think the translation of this hadith is clear, but it needs maybe a little explanation. So this hadith can talk, we can observe this hadith from two sides. One side, exactly in a time that we are that person, that we are, we lose our family members and our friends, and nobody does not pay attention about us. So sometimes we are that person, and sometimes we are a friend, we are family members, that we can pay attention to somebody, and maybe if we don't pay attention, somebody as a stranger can help and maybe be a sympathy with that person. So from first side, if you want to talk, if you want to say anytime, every time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all of the human beings, they're not alone, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help them and try to attach them to somebody. So maybe in a time that you are losing your family members, maybe your relatives and even your friends, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will open another door for you. This is the one of the promise of Allah. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is closing one door, instead of that is opening another door. So we shouldn't be worried about what happened, about a closed door. We have to think about the new doors that they are opened. So this is the process that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has in his blessings process. And exactly this one is one of the things that even maybe Christians and some of the bishop and I can say some of the bishop, they are talking about it, and they are preaching even the Christianity, or when they want to talk about Jesus, about it, the Father, they are talking like this. They say the blessing of Father, the blessing of Jesus is exactly like this, opening the door and closing the door, because they have some statements even in Bible in this regard. So this is also our belief about the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessing. We are sure that every time that the doors of Allah and the blessings of Allah is open, but maybe the door are different. So exactly about this one, all of the human beings, they need a sympathy. So sometimes this sympathy will provide it from our family members, from our friends, and sometimes is providing it will be maybe expressed by some strangers. This is the first one. Then this is exactly what happened for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Rasulullah, in the first step of his preaching, of his expressing and talking about Islam and his I want to say exactly the thing that he had as a duty when he wanted to express his when he wanted to express his mission. So at first starting by family members and relatives, 40 relatives, but all of them they rejected Prophet of Islam. All of them they didn't pay attention about him. Who was Abu Sufyan, who was Abu Lahab. All of them they were from the tribe of Rasulullah. But most of the person that they were in Quraysh and they were in the same tribe by Rasulullah, they rejected Rasulullah. But who was the person that they attract to Rasulullah? Who was the person that they, be a lover and a follower of Rasulullah? They were someone from another tribes, from the Aus and Khazraj. Even did in the first step, that all of them they were idol worshippers. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, don't be worried about someone that they are not, they don't pay attention about you. They're not careful about it. They don't mind about you. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what will happen and how can, provide your needs, such as, sympathy, such as followers and every other things. So sorry for the some noise. So this is one of the ni'mah. If we can observe these noises from two sides. One of them we can say it's a ni'mah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that gave me and everybody inshallah will get married, children and especially infants. And another side, we can say, sometimes it's hard, maybe it's kind of bothering when I want to talk, when I want to be alone, so I don't have relaxed time for myself. But I think it's better if you're preferring first, maybe view first angle instead of the second one. So actually, we were talking about, first point about this one, first side of this hadith. The first side of this hadith, as he said, this is exactly that we can say. So don't be worried about what will happen from the side of your family members or friends. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will support you. But another side of this hadith is this. So when you have family members, when you have friends, if you're not careful about that person, if you don't pay attention to that person, be sure one day strangers that you're not sure, and then that sorry, that you don't know who is that person and what's their belief, they will attract that person. Imagine if you have one cousin. So if you don't pay attention at all to your cousin, maybe sometimes asking you something, or maybe sometimes is calling you, but you don't answer, and any other things. So as a result, that person, will not be alone. And one stranger that maybe that person is Hindu, or maybe is idol worshippers, or I don't know, any other person, that person will attract your cousin. So after that, what's your response, and how you can respond to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because you had the opportunity to attract one of your family members in a way of Allah, but you maybe deserved that person, and you didn't pay attention about that person, you left him. So this is really a duty that all of us we have about our family members, about our relatives, and about our friends. They are the person that they are near of us, and we have a duty about them. When we don't pay attention about them, when we don't do our duty about them, so somebody else is expressing lots of sympathy and attract them. And this is one of the reasons that many of the ladies, many of the ladies that they are going to astray, and they're doing something bad. This is the problem from their father. This is the problem that their brother that they had. When the when a father or maybe one brother, they don't pay attention, they don't express their love to their daughter or sister. As a result, that daughter will go to astray. Maybe somebody else is attracting them, is showing them lots of sympathy. So in that case, one stranger will grab them. So this is really important, this side, that we need to pay attention more about our family, relatives, and our friends, and even our neighbors. Neighbors are also important. They're living beside you. Why some Christian? Why some maybe a Hindu? They will attract them. We are their neighbors. If you are maybe deliver them some, maybe I don't know, some foods in an occasion that birthday of Ahlul Bayt or many other times, so you can attract them. So this is the second things that actually it's in this, if when we are observing this hadith from this side, we will understand that we have lots of duty about our family members and our friends and also our neighbors. So that was about 14 hadiths and 14 sayings. So brothers and sisters, if you have any question right now, you can ask it. If you don't have, we can continue about next one. No question. So if you don't have any question, we will start to talk about next one. Saying number 15, Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam says, ما كل مفتون يعاتب. ما كل مفتون يعاتب. So Imam says, if I want to say short translation, every person who is tempted to go astray does not deserve punishment. So we can't say everybody that is doing something wrong is eligible, is maybe qualified for punishment. What that exactly mean? Also this hadith, it's possible to observe from two sides, and we can say it has two sides. Actually, we can pay attention about both of them. So first side, it's exactly about this one, that everybody is doing wrong, is committing some mistakes and committing some sins or making mistakes, is not deserved, is not maybe is not deserved to accuse or to maybe remonstrate, because sometimes that person is not aware about the thing that is doing. When somebody is not aware about the thing that is doing, we shouldn't maybe punish that person. We shouldn't maybe sometimes talking in a bad way. No, we have to be as a friend to help that person, because that person didn't know. This is exactly like this one, maybe if you have amount of fruit, so when somebody is knowing that these fruits are for you, so if that person is eating those fruits, in this case, you can punish that person. You can say, oh, come on, what are you doing? These are for me. But at a time that they are not, that person is not aware. Maybe that person exactly, he was putting some fruits exactly beside your fruits. And suddenly, without attention, he decided to eat from those fruits, and that he imagined that all of them are belongs to him, but made a mistake and wanted to maybe consume and eat from your fruits. So in this case, you don't punish that person, only you say these are for me and those are for you. So this is exactly what we have about the sin and the also mistakes. When somebody is not aware about what's the wrong thing, what's the true things, what's the sins exactly. So only we have to help that person, not punishing that person. Maybe some hadith, if I want to say in this regard, Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam says, وَكَانَ لَا يَلُومُ أَحَدًا عَلَى يَجِدُ الْعُذْرَ في مثله حتى يسمع اعتذاره. So Imam says, if somebody is committing some mistakes, if somebody is committing mistakes, if you are a believer, you have to listen at first the accuse and the reason of that person for doing that sin or mistake. At first you have to listen. If you don't listen, you're not able and you shouldn't punish that person. Imam says we can't punish the person that we didn't listen the accuse or the reason of that person why that person is doing that action. We can punish. This is the first one. Another hadith. قال أبو عبد الله عليه السلام, Imam Sadiq عليه السلام says, من عير مؤمنا بذنب لم يمت حتى يرتكبه. This is one of the things that is really we need to pay attention more about it. Imam says, if somebody is accused somebody else or maybe remonstrate somebody else, that person will not, won't die before committing that sin himself, that person himself. So if I saying maybe if I say to one of the brother that in our group, if I say, oh, that person is not able to control his mouth and everything that wants to say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will provide a situation for me to do exactly what I was talking about you or one of the brothers in this group. So we have to be aware about it. We shouldn't remonstrate. We shouldn't, accuse somebody else only for maybe because accusing and remonstrating, it doesn't have any benefit. Sometimes we are ordering someone to ma'ruf. Sometimes we are, maybe helping someone to avoiding from, haram. So this is good. It's because it's a friendly way. But sometimes only we want to accuse somebody else. We want to stick a label. In this times, it doesn't have any benefit for that person and even for ourselves. It's kind of sin for ourselves. So this is about the first, maybe observing to this hadith. Another thing that maybe we can say this is also true about this hadith. We can say all of the person that they are and they have done some mistakes, and it doesn't have benefit for them, punishment for them, or maybe remonstrating for them. It doesn't have benefit. So first thing that I said, we shouldn't accuse somebody else. But this one, if we're talking about it, we say, no, it's good. If it's good to remonstrate someone else. I mean, it's good to say the mistake of somebody else, but it doesn't have any benefit here. And so in this one we don't have hadith, if I want to say, as evidence, but this is the thing that some of the ulama and some of the scholars, they mentioned about this one and this observing to this hadith. So actually, I think our discussion is finished and nothing else is reminded. But right now, if you have any question about the sayings 14 or sayings 15, I'm ready to hear your maybe question. You can ask it.
Naam, Sayyidina Salam. One question about the part 2 of saying 15. When it comes with the punishment may not be beneficial to those, does it mean that we can punish in the sense that teaching a lesson in a way that they might realize, oh, I should stay away from that mistake or sin? Is maybe the means of our punishment should change in this regard?
You're talking about a second side. You're talking, yeah.
Now, second side of the saying 15. Now, is it not punishing because of not being beneficial? Yeah, or does it? Is there also a different version of punishing in a manner of to make it beneficial in a form of a lesson, in a form of a practical example? So maybe the one going to commit the mistake or going to do the sin should prevent by remembering that potential punishment. Is this maybe the way?
Actually, I think I want to. Actually, maybe punishment is not a good translation for yu'atab. If we will translate better, maybe it will, help us, because as I said, in the translation says every person who is tempted to go astray does not deserve punishment. Punishment is not equal to yu'atab. Yu'atab is kind of maybe when you're saying to someone, why did you have done these things? Why did you have done? You're asking to help that person. This is kind of yu'atab and itab. Sometimes maybe only you are yelling. Oh, come on! Why are you doing these things? Yeah, this is yu'atab and itab. And itab is not. But punishment maybe mostly is happened by maybe kicking someone or maybe hitting someone else. Yes, this is the meaning of punishment. But actually, this is yu'atab is not only by physical, punishment, only by talking and saying something. So in this case, it doesn't have sometimes for some person benefit. When you're talking lots of things about, exactly like the thing that happened for Rasulullah in the time that he wanted to open Mecca. So some of the verses of Quran says to Rasulullah, لعلك باخع نفسك. It's near to will die for the sympathy of the idol worshippers. Allah says you don't need to be sympathy about some of them. They don't go to in a perfection way. They don't go to in a right way. So, or maybe we have in the Quran that says صُمٌّ بُكْمٌ عُمْيٌ فَهُمْ لَا يَرْجِعُونَ. So they are defeated and actually or blind, and they can't come in a true way. It's not able for them to come. So in this case, it doesn't have any benefit to talk with them. But for most of the Muslimin, it has a benefit. Atab, it has a benefit for most of them. But this is talking about maybe some person that they are in a way they are they understand what they are doing, but they don't want to pay attention. This is exactly a person that they are adversary of this hadith.
Now understood. Santum said.
You're welcome. Anybody else? No question? So if you don't have any question, maybe inshallah tomorrow